This is Akwamaka TV.
Good day to you viewers. Welcome to Akwamaka TV, the pride of Africa entertainment. My name is Ugochukwu Joseph Ugochukwu. On today's episode of The African Roots, I have with me a man that is well experienced, who so much believes in his origin, a man that doesn't believe the fact that African culture will be swept under the carpet. We are going to learn a lot from him. You can call him a Pan-Africanist. You can call him a man full of wisdom. Join me as I introduce to you my guest.
Thank you, Mr. Ogo. My name is Collins Ukukakeboro. Mr. Ogo, you can actually call me a traditionalist too. And I'm a student of some of our great scholars, the likes of Ben Yosef, the likes of Chik Anta Diop, and I listen to John Umar.
The great
philosophers. These are black brothers that are doing justice and giving us the knowledge of the African story or African history. These are historians and archaeologists.
All right, we'll be dissecting a very wonderful topic today that will keep you at the edge of your seat for more than 10 minutes. All right, there has been this school of thought of so many people, and it has been like that, for quite some years right now. During the course of even some of our university students have actually argued about this couple of years, and some people are saying the fact that the civilization that is in place now emanated from the Westerners, and so many people also believe the fact that it is actually from the African continent. So I would want you to elucidate more on this.
Okay, I didn't make mention of some things. Talking about the origin of man, I didn't make mention of some things. So when archaeologists and historians made research, they found out that the beginning of man started from Africa, and all the fossils of the early human, Homo erectus, and even the fossils of the modern human, Homo sapiens, which would belong to, all fossils were found majorly in Africa. So, and there is one fossils found by archaeologists, and they named it Lucy. Lucy is the most complete fossils found of Homo erectus, of early humans, and this is dated about 2,000 years thereabouts. So man existed about 6 million years, 2 million years ago. So this is a proof of man.
Let's take a look at this, because some people believe in this school of thought that the civilization that you and I is enjoying today emanated from African continent, and it has been argued so many years ago, and up to today some people are still believing the fact that it is not actually from Africa, and so many are saying the fact that it emanated from the Western world. So Can you actually throw more light on this?
Okay, when it comes to the beginning of life, when it comes to the oldest culture in the world is the African culture. The oldest society, the oldest tradition are all Africans. So Africans were the first people to understood what it means to organize a society. Africans were the first people to understand what spiritism is. African was the first people to understand what it means to have a tradition or a culture. And so, same thing to civilization. The greatest civilization of all time is Egypt. So, before the white man knew what civilization is, thousands of years, Africans have been practicing civilization. From all the way from Uganda to Egypt to Ethiopia to Nile Valley, Africans. These people understood what civilization is. The idea of farming started from Africa. The idea of wheels, the idea of motor you have today, the idea of wheels moving, started from Africa. And so many other things. The idea of calculation, alphabet, writing, started from Africa. Civilization itself found its origin from Africa. And everything the Greek is known as the father of science. But everything the Greek knew today, they all landed from Egypt. And according to Ben Yosef, we know, or according to the education they taught us, that Hippocrates, I don't even know Hippocrates,
Of course.
which is known as the father of medicine. But Hippocrates couldn't be the father of medicine when we have somebody like Imhotep. Imhotep is a god of medicine, not father, a god of medicine. Imhotep existed about 3,000 years thereabout before Hippocrates.
All right, let's be very logical about this. Now, you are saying the fact that the civilization actually emanated from Africa years before Westerners started enjoying what we're enjoying today. Now, the question is, in terms of technology, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of economic development, and so many people in which the citizens are enjoying today in Africa and that of Western world, why is it totally different? In as much as the fact that Africa has been in this civilization for quite some time.
Okay, this will bring me to a lot of things, and trying to be careful not to hurt some people, but we still need to clear and say the truth. So, Africa, there was a time where the world was controlled by the black people, African people. There was a time where Africa was like a center of knowledge. It was a center of knowledge. So, and Africa has been invaded many times. Africa has been invaded many times. We suffered slavery, we suffered colonialism, and these processes, these things came to interrupt our culture, came to interrupt our history. So most times we were taught in school, our history in school looks as if our history started from colonialism, or our history started from slavery. No, there's a prehistorical time before slavery, before colonialism. Your history is not colonial period. Your history was before slavery, before colonial period. So how can you develop when you spend all your life trying to survive? You spend all your life fighting slavery, fighting colonialism, fighting invasions. You know, we've been invaded by different society. Came to interrupt our culture. Came to interrupt.
That actually brings me to the next question I'm going to ask you right now, because from the look of things, let's forget about the slavery aspect of this particular topic at the moment. Let's take a look at the positivity aspect of the whole stuff. Now, you take a look at the number of years Africans have actually been delivered from the shackles of, amalgamations and all of that. Now, the freedom was given to them. All right? And, for example, let me use Nigeria as a case study. Now, we are hitting close to, should be around 50-something, close to 60 years independent. All right? And so many people are still complaining. So many people in Nigeria, as I'm speaking with you today, cannot afford 3 square meal a day. People are suffering. People are actually complaining. So people are saying insecurity, bad governance, and all of that. Does it mean the fact that this is still as a result of slavery you're talking about? That is one. Then two, same thing applicable to other African continents, where their masses, their citizens are complaining bitterly about bad leadership. Now, if you're talking about the fact that you have been held for hostage for so long, and at a point you regain your freedom back, what are those things that they're supposed to have done before now that the citizens supposed to actually start benefiting and also increasing their standard of living?
First of all, Africans have been victimized so much. The African society has gone through so much, through a lot, and colonialism was like colonialism was a finished work. Will I say the finished work of the white man, or will I say colonialism was not the thing that that took everything that the African man was. I know a lot of things happened, but colonialism was the finished work. In a sense where we don't have our own roots and identity anymore. If you look at Nigeria, let me use Nigeria as an example. You see Nigeria is losing everything that they are. Their culture is being swept under the carpet. We are not being told who we are. I grew up to know that when I was growing up, we were told that Mungo Park found River Niger. And it was when I grew up, I said, come on, was it that nobody was living in River Niger? Was it that we didn't have people there? I can't Mungo Park found River Niger. But that's what we're taught in school. These are the knowledge that your children will grow up with. You get, so there are a lot of things that have been taught to us that are not true. There are a lot of things that have been taught to us that has made us lose our identity. You get, so, and there were a lot of institutions that was established in Africa to promote the Western education, to promote a belief system. A belief system that
such as what?
A belief system that makes you put away your own roots. The ordinary black man believes that juju is voodoo is evil. The ordinary black man believes that his own tradition is evil. The ordinary black man believes that any practices of his tradition is evil. Because of that, because of the institution, or how will I say it,
the foundation.
The foundation of what have been taught to the ordinary black man. The society compels you to follow another man's culture in total. I'm not saying we shouldn't practice religion. I'm not saying we shouldn't go to school, but I'm saying we shouldn't forget our own identity.
So, okay, this actually brings me back to the next question I'm going to ask you right now. So, since you have actually been analyzing the fact that our culture has been taken away, in fact, we are completely forgetting about our culture. So, how do we get back to our roots? How do we get back to the right track?
The way to get back to the way to save Africa, the way to save Africa as a whole, is for Africa to come together. Unity. And how can we achieve unity? When I was taught that me and you are different people, if how will I say it, the Zambian man or the South African man believes that the Nigerian man is different from him, how can we achieve unity? When even in Nigeria we believe that the Igbo man and the Yoruba man are different people. You get, there's these things that has been taught to Africans. We believe we don't know who we are. We don't know that we are actually the same people. We are actually the same people. So we are taught to see ourselves as different people, that we are not brothers. So one of the ways to embrace unity is to go back to our roots. To go back to our roots, to embrace our identity.
How do we do that? How do we recover our identity?
We need to be taught. We need to be taught patriotism. We need to be taught the truth about our culture. Your ancestors were not evil. Your ancestors did not totally fail. They fought for their life. The ordinary black man believes anything about his ancestors, they are bad, they are evil. It's like you dying today. And when you die, your children tell their children that you are evil, that they don't want to associate anything with you. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
These were the people that they were the essence of why you are alive today.
All right, this is Apamaka TV, the pride of Africa entertainment. Let's pay some bills and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
This is Apamaka TV.
Welcome back to the studio. All right. Mr. Collins, what are the major religions we have in Africa?
Okay, we actually have two major religions in the whole of Africa, and these two religions came from our invaders. One came from the Europe and the other came from Arab. So we have the European came with Christianity and the Arabs came with Islam. So these two checking history, you want to know how they came, what's their purpose, why did they came to Africa, was it to make you save, get you saved, or make you go to heaven? So knowing history helps you knowing yourself. It's helps you trace your identity, so you won't make wrong steps. So when you know the essence or the intentions, you will know how to go about things. So how did they come? What did they come for? So 55% in Africa is Islam and 45% in Africa is Christianity. So these are two major institutions that are established in Africa, and they were brought through colonialism and so on. So I don't know. The only way Africa can trace their step is to trace their identity. Go back to who you are. I'm not saying you shouldn't practice religion, but I'm saying you should not throw away your culture. Some people will say, but our culture is barbaric, it's demonic. No. This was what you were taught. This is what you were told, that it was demonic. You were told that your ancestors were demonic, your deities were demonic. No, these are lies. These are lies. Your ancestors, how can your identity be demonic? How can your roots be demonic? So this is a step to development. Owning your identity, going back to your culture, is a step to development, because this affects how we react. This determines knowing yourself determines, or the knowledge you have determines how you act.
All right,
how you approach things. For example, the black people have the lowest self-esteem in the world, and this is because of what the society has made them to be. The society is so structured in a way whereby the black man feels inferior. And so one of the ways to help the ordinary black man is to teach him about himself, how great he is, how powerful he is. You get? So you need to, we were told about the failures of our ancestors, we're not told about their glories. So we need to be told more positive things about our culture, not telling us on how our ancestors failed. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. We need to be told more of the glories of Shango, the glories of your ancestors in general. You need to be told how they fought for their life during slavery, during colonialism, and so on and so forth.
Alright, before I let you go, I have one more question to ask you. How do African economy develop?
Yeah, Mr. Ogo. This is what most of our African brothers have been coming to preach. The likes of Bob Marley, the likes of Fela, many of them, they have been trying to come and preach that Africans should unite. What stops us from having one banking system, one currency? What stops us we call United States of Africa, where Africa, I don't have to pay visa to go to South Africa. Why should I get the visa to go to South Africa and stuff like that? I could just go get a ticket and I'm going to South Africa. There should be no barriers. There should be no boundaries. And even if there are boundaries, not in that
Category.
Yeah, how can you be an African man and you've not? Have you been to South Africa before? Have you been to Mali? Just Mali. Mali is close to Nigeria. Have you been there? Because the process is somehow difficult.
Very rigid.
It should be something like, I'm going to the next state. I should just pick a ticket and go to this place and know Africa. The idea is for us to know ourselves. I can just go to Mali and come back. I can just go to. We need unity. That's the idea. We shouldn't hate ourselves. We need to come together. Like I was saying, China is 1.4 billion people, and Africa is 1.3 billion. The only difference is Africa has a wider land, geographical. Why that? I think Africa is bigger than both Asia and Europe, and that's how big Africa is. That's when it comes to landscape. But population, China is 1.4, Africa is 1.3. What's supposed to have one currency? China has one currency. What's supposed to have one currency? One banking system. So these are the things we should come together. Let's do things together. Let our government do things together. We could practice a system where there will be a central head, like a confederalized system. So where there will be a central head and different countries will be like regions and states. You get, and the central head is like the ceremonial head, and you get kind of a representative of all regions and other states, and I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Of course.
And the central head derives power from the other parts, all the regions and states. Come on, this will bring more strength to the African people. This will conquer a lot of things and bring development. It will make our currency so strong. Don't you know that Africa is the highest patronage on dollar?
Absolutely.
So these are the things. Let's patronize us.
All right. I think it is time for us to come together as one nation, one continent, to build Africa to a greater height, especially Nigeria. All right. This is where the cooking will crumble on today's program. Join me next week Thursday as I bring to you another exciting episode of the African Roots. Stay tuned.
The pride of African entertainment.